This is George Dionne of the Rock is George podcast, and this is a KNAC.com exclusive interview with drummer Roger Chouinard of the heavy metal act All Sinners. If I knew absolutely nothing about All Sinners, how would you describe the band's music to me?
Think about driving down the street in a 1987 IROC Camaro, in the song coming on, and you're at a red light and it turns green and you just take off. I guess it's very 80s, it's very Dio-ish, early Def Leppard, Cinderella drumming. Fred Curry is a big influence on me, his style and look and just a stance on that. It's I'm a fan of it. I play drums for it and I'm a fan of it.
So how did All Sinners originally get together? How did all the members come together for this?
We were a cover band for a little while. I mean, everybody was in a sense. And then the shutdown happened and my singer was like, let's write a rock record. And two members left. We ended up picking up Nick on guitar, and Bruce Morrison stayed on bass, and Michael, I've known him since we've been like 18, 19 years old. So we've been around for about a year and a half. The EP is about a year old now, and we're moving to do a full length right now. So
awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the EP. You mentioned it's been out for about a year now. It's your self-titled EP. You released it through your own imprint, Purchase Street Records. Is there a primary songwriter when it comes to the music, or does everybody contribute?
Drum wise, it's me. Bass wise, it's Bruce. Guitars, when those two get together, I just don't hit anything, and I just let them do it. That's my thing. I don't make any noises. Bruce helps with the rearranging or try to invert things. So every song doesn't sound the same, but mainly it's the three dudes out front.
Does Mike do all the lyrics?
Yes. If I wrote the lyrics, it'd be about food delivery and coffee.
I hear that. You got the single "The Hunter" out. It's been out for a little bit. I've heard it played on 94 HJY in Providence. Yep. I've heard it on Hair Nation XM satellite radio. So the song's doing really well for you.
It's been taking notice. Can always do better. It can always be worse, but people seem to enjoy it, which is super cool.
The EP was produced by Shane Frisbee, who also worked with Falling in Reverse and Parkway Drive out of the hit house of Cape Cod. How did you get hooked up with Shane for this?
Shane's a dear old friend of mine. We used to be in the hardcore community, band-wise, and obviously lived in the same area. He sold his house down the Cape, and I talked to him about, I believe it was the first song we wrote as a band. Well, Mike brought it to us. He would send it to us over the computer when we weren't allowed to drive past 8:00, and I would learn it at my house or whatever. And then I sent it to Shane, and Shane's like, "I want to record this record." He goes, "I've always wanted to record a rock record." And Shane sold his house, and his studio's now at my house. So, and now we're stuck with him, I guess, But he really brought out, I feel, the best of us and made us feel comfortable.
And you mentioned you're going to be doing a full-length album in 2024. I assume that Shane's going to be working on that as well.
Correct. Yeah. We have 5 or 6 songs written. We're going for 9 or 10. As soon as we get back from LA, the next weekend, we start recording the drum tracks go down for the record. And then we have about a month and a half off, almost 2 months off in January, February to try to, not try to write, but to attempt to write another, 3 to 4 songs.
Do you have a title of the album in mind?
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna do that. I don't know. We might do the Chicago Baroness thing, like just change the color of the record, because the, I don't know. A friend of mine, we might try to put the record out with. He has an amazing artist that's worked with a bunch of people. Might give something to him. So I just want to write the record. I don't care if it's Jay Roberts on the front cover. My main thing is but I'll leave that up to the dudes.
You released the EP independently through your own label. You pressed your own vinyl. You did all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing the same with the full length? Or are you going to shop it around to some labels?
I hope not. I feel the band's strong enough to have somebody behind it. We just announced an area tour. We're announcing another one. We're announcing a couple other high profile shows in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I hope somebody takes notice to it. And I mean, I can only get it to so many avenues. If I had just a few more tries or a few more attempts by other people that I don't know, I think it could go somewhere. I have one label that I work with all the time, and I really want them to put it out. I think I want to be associated with their artists. So let's see how it sounds, and we'll go from there.
You got this big show coming up on New Year's Eve at the Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood, California, opening for LA Guns. How did this opportunity come about for a band from Massachusetts?
Ace Van Johnson, LA Guns. He somebody canceled. He's in tight out there, and he recorded us the night we played with him at the Vault. He sent it to the gentleman out there. I came off the stage. I looked at my phone and I cried. I was just like, oh my goodness. I showed Mike, and I said, you need to talk to the dudes because I think we need to do this. I was like, I need to put my drums away. I need to handle this. And then we just spent a bunch of money on plane tickets, and we're doing the show.
And it must be maybe a little bit of nerves and a little bit of excitement going to play on the same stage that all those bands you grew up with that influenced you played, and you're actually going to have this same opportunity.
Well, up to now, I didn't really think of that aspect. I appreciate that, but no, you know what? I've played on a lot of big stages, and I've done a lot of things, and this is probably one of the coolest things. I played CBGBs. I did that. And now I'm doing this one. I guess in music, at the end, I mean, who really makes money? Everybody goes broke after a while. I guess, I just want to say I did everything.
Had you ever been to the Whiskey as just a patron?
For a while, I was actually working with Overkill. And I ended up, they performed there. So I ended up, I drum tech for them. So that was fun.
You just announced a little tour opening for Metal Church the other day for their 2024 stops in March. You're going to be playing 4 dates with them. How did this opportunity come about?
Stet Howland. Well, actually, Stet pushed for us. Kurt, Joe Rat Pack Records, that I'm friends with. That's the guy I want to put out the record. But like, I've been friends with him since I've opened the shop. I purchased a lot of his back catalog. I carry it. I'm the only store in the United States that still has back stock of his stuff. And we just became friends. He enjoys the band. Every time Metal Church is out here, Kurt comes to the store. We did a signing here, and it just goes to show it's all on who you know in rock and roll. And they asked us to play, and we said yes.
Instead, Holland's a local guy. He's from Massachusetts, the area that you're from, and so is Mark Lopes of Metal Church, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we So it should be a good time. We're playing 3 areas. We're doing Vermont, which we haven't played, New Hampshire, which we're going back to. We played there with Quiet Riot. And the first time we're playing more east than Rhode Island because we're such a new band. Reading, Pennsylvania, and we're playing New Jersey, Dingbats. Reverb in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Are you able to talk about the other tours that you're setting up after this one yet?
I don't want to jinx it. The other bands online are starting to say they're coming to the East Coast and all this other stuff, but I don't want to jinx it. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, so it's one of those things. But it's with a couple high profile. One band's from New York and one's from LA. So, but that's only like a 4-day show. I think it's a 4-day thing. Salem, Connecticut, Brooklyn, and Philly.
You got to keep up the heavy metal code of never mentioning the album title and don't mention who you're touring with until the press release is out.
I know. I don't want to get yelled at anymore.
All Sinners shared the stage with Lita Ford, Winger, Faster Pussycat, Stephen Pearcy, Quiet Riot, Dangerous Toys. Who was the most down to earth from that group of musicians?
Every one of them. I mean, I'm close with the LA Guns guys. I met Ace when he was in Faster Pussycat. So it's more of a friendship thing. We always text each other if we're having a bad day. This is what we do. In life, you can't complain about life if you choose to do it. You go to a job, you filled out that application, you chose to do that job. So I can't complain about being in a band. But like the LA Guns guys, they stayed at my house. Tracy Guns was putting a stick. I'm sitting there playing. He's putting a stick under my butt while I'm playing. Lita Ford walks into my store. Who's Raja? I need to know who this Raja guy is. The Faster guys, amazing. All those dudes. How about this? I've never had a bad experience.
So then my next question's out the window. I was going to be like, have you played with any of these bands and they're still living like it's 1987?
No, I think they all got humble. I think a lot of the guys, how can I say it, are they are humble. And if anybody's ever rude, what do? You just don't buy their record anymore. You don't, or I won't sell it here. How about that? Anybody's a jerk, I'll throw the records in the $2 bin. How about that?
So let's talk about the record store. You have Purchase Street Records. It just turned 6 years old, I believe. So
yeah.
It's more than just records, right?
Records, CDs, tapes, DVDs. I have some T-shirts, but mainly I really try to stick to certain SKUs and certain genres. I feel a lot of stores go out of business and a lot of businesses go out of, just fail because they're trying to catch profits on too many things. So as you can see, the overstock of U2 behind me and Bruce Springsteen, but yeah, no, it does pretty well. We do in stores here, with us being, I've had everybody from, George Lynch walk in the store. Obviously, Lita, the LA Guns guys always come. I throw Chips Enough and Slim Tender out of here every single time. Just great dudes, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And you're not over on Purchase Street anymore. You moved to a new location that's bigger and more accessible.
Yeah, we ran out of room. Downstairs was definitely a fire hazard. We just have too much stuff. Too many things getting released. Records. I don't want to say it's the thing right now, but it's definitely on an uptrend. And the only way you have money is if you have product. That's it.
And you certainly, I think you have the biggest selection of hard rock and metal as far as local record shops go in the area.
Yeah, I just tend to like that more. To me, I know it. Like if somebody wants to talk about, some of the best 80s records ever released, don't say no. Night Songs, the first Winger, the first Tesla. Like I can go on and on and on. But somebody wants to come in and talk jazz, I'm not your guy.
I have to know who moves more vinyl, Kiss or Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Really?
I, you know what, um, younger. They don't own a house. They don't have a bill. They don't have a wife that goes, "Well, you're spending how much money on what?" Like, Kiss fans are older, middle aged, halfway to death, like myself, and the younger community comes in and they don't have a house bill, electric bill, overhead in life. So they're able to spend $30 to $100 on whatever they want to. Kiss fans do drop a coin. Don't get me wrong.
Do you think Kiss fans are going to drop a coin to see them in avatar form?
One time.
Exactly.
Yeah. I put on shows, and they'll go the first time, but I feel animatronics with that age, that age bracket, they want to see the real thing. They want to see genes, spit blood and, fire and, Paul and I get it. Eric's not Peter and Ace, but Eric's been in the band longer than the other two, and so is Tommy. You got to think Ace was only in the band, 12 years? These other guys have been in there forever, so it's just, to me, Kiss is more of a character type thing. And, and I enjoy whatever they put out.
You have ties to kind of classic 80s rock yourself. Your uncle was drummer Bobby Chiounard of
Yep.
Bill Squire fame. He also played with Alice Cooper and a bunch of other guys. And was he the one that kind of inspired you to play the drums?
Oh yeah, of course. 1981, I saw him with Queen, Def Leppard, Rat. I had to walk across the front of the stage at the Worcester Centrum to get to the other side. I stopped and looked out, and I'm like, oh, I want to do this someday. This is what I want to do. Will I ever get to that stature of him? Probably not. But on a local sense, and weekend warrior, I guess I'm doing it. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and this past weekend we had a show, and we brought 250 people to a local venue, the Vault, and we rocked it.
Did your uncle give you any advice on the music industry itself and kind of helping you navigate it?
To learn how to play, I asked him how to learn to play drums. He said, learn AC/DC back in black, start to finish. And I still have the tape that I learned on in my garage. Still have it in my tape case. As for music industry and, business wise and stuff like that, he wasn't around a lot. He toured a lot. He was busy in the time that, his heyday. And he lived in New York City. The only way I get a hold of him was a telephone, landline, none of this cell phone or Zoom meeting stuff, but he was my uncle, and at that time I was real young. I didn't know business, and honestly I didn't stop playing until I was 18, 19 years old. So, but he kind of showed me that anything's possible if you put your mind to it.
You wrote a book about him as well. Came out in 2012. That kind of, you talked to the musicians that knew him best. Was there a particular story that someone told you that sticks out in your mind?
Glenn Hughes was super nice. Steve from Journey he did it. He was actually from Stoughton, and him and Bobby had like this battle thing, who was the better drummer. I mean, Alice Cooper took the time. He said, he was a one take type of guy. Whatever you do, have that recording. When Bobby played, get him on the first try, because it was always the rawest. It was the biggest, and it really went through. And Billy said some nice words in the forward and everything like that. But you know what? Like 85% of the people I asked to do it, they were top notch, and everybody took the time to do it. So it was real nice.
So you have All Sinners, you have Purchase Street Records. I know you do some um, promotion work for the Vault. Are you working on anything else? Do you have time for anything else?
I want to be happy in life. um, Mainly, I'm concentrating on my store. I have 4 wonderful dogs. Home life, I try to keep simple. Just try to be the best person I can. But that's about it. I think working on myself, I need to let myself enjoy life a little bit more. Because I'm all like last night at 12:30 at night, I'm talking to somebody overseas about making All Sinners wristbands, and I fall asleep and I wake up and there's like 10 messages from this dude. Hello, are you awake? Are you awake? So sometimes I need to learn to shut my brain off and everything else. But I really enjoy what I do in life, and which is keeping the shop busy, myself busy, and trying to bring All Sinners to the next level.
Are you open up a second Purchase Street Records location?
You never know. You never know. Working on, I just purchased 2,000 records. Trying to make this one as organized as I can. But sometimes I like to put that out there to maybe scare a few people in the area going, oh my goodness, he's that busy, Staying in the public eye is, I feel, one of those things you have to do. Because once you're not there, people will forget about you.
Well, before I let you go, I got to ask you how you came up with the band name All Sinners.
I wanted to play on words. Mike comes out and, he's like, we're all sinners. Like it really, like the merchandise, we kill it on merchandise. I feel the designs was designed by Mike D from Kill Switch. He did that. My friend Teddy Goods does a lot of stuff for us too. It's and it's very 80s, a sinner, a wizard, whatever. And we do join the cult and hail all sinners. And it, if anybody has ever said I've never done anything wrong, you're lying. We're all sinners. That's it.
Absolutely. And join the cult is your catchphrase for the band, right?
Oh yeah, walking in the mall with or wherever, and you hear some old lady, what kind of cult are you in? And I'm like, oh, I'm in a band called All Sinners. Oh, okay. So it's kind of funny, this day and age, you got to be careful if you fart in church, but it just, I don't know, it's heavy metal. I want to be in a heavy metal band, and that's the scenario I want to be in.
Well, it sounds like you're killing it, Roger. Those are all the questions I have for you today. Your self-titled EP is out now. You have a full-length album coming in 2024, the New Year's Eve gig with LA Guns at the Whiskey, and then on tour with Metal Church in March of 2024. I want to thank you again for taking the time to speak with KNAC.com.
Thank you, guys, and everybody have a nice holiday.